Hello everybody and welcome to our 2025 What's Missing in AP World History project. I'm just going to be introducing our 4 topics and also going to be explaining why they are missing from history and AP World History. First topic is the Assyrian Genocide. So I'm not going to go too much in depth about what these things are. I believe the Assyrian Genocide is kind of left out of history because it happened concurrently with the Armenian Genocide at the same time. And the Armenian Genocide, as we know, we've heard about that a lot. I know about the Assyrian Genocide even before AP World History. And it's definitely a thing that a lot of people know, but a lot of people don't know about the Assyrian Genocide.
A lot of people don't know about that, even though thousands and hundreds of Assyrians were killed and murdered and starved, which is like a horrible thing. But there's still little to no international acknowledgement. And it's also not a thing that's kind of brought to attention. And a lot of the time, the Assyrian Genocide is left out of textbooks and history and stuff to kind of block that.
Topic number 2 is Toussaint Louverture. Everybody knows about the Haitian Revolution, and they know a lot about Toussaint Louverture, about how he led the Haitian Revolution, but it's left out very often more deeply about like who he was personally and his background and his lineage and everything like that. So I feel like he's left out of history in the sense, like, when I was researching him, I found out he actually swapped
sides quite a few times. He went from being a slave to being a slave owner, to siding with the French, to siding with the Spanish. And he is a lot deeper than just leading the Haitian Revolution, and I feel like that's left out of history a lot. Our third topic is Eleanor of Aquitaine, and she is left out of history because of kind of the patriarchal views of her time and how those kind of immediately silenced her and kind of discredit what she did. So she did a lot of stuff. Like I said, I'm not trying to get too deep into it because that's for later, but she did a lot of stuff alongside male counterparts, and her male counterparts got a lot of credit for what they did, but she didn't get anything, even though what she was doing was either equal or maybe even better than what those male counterparts were doing. So she's kind of left out of history because of those stereotypical views. Our final topic is King Izana of Axum, and we thought that he was mainly left out of the curriculum because when most people think, or when most curriculums think of Africa, they like to focus on like slavery and colonization, but they kind of skip over the more powerful things. Really the only powerful like empires that we know in Africa are the Egyptian Empire and Mansa Musa. So I think that is kind of why King Izana isn't mentioned as much in history. Those are our topics. And now I'm going to pass it on to nobody, actually. I'm going to pass it on to a little sneak peek of a documentary made about Toussaint Louverture. So I hope you guys enjoy that.
The year is 1743. In Saint Dominique, now modern-day Haiti, Toussaint Louverture is born, the son of 2 enslaved parents, forced to do work every single day. 30 years later, Toussaint is freed by his former enslaver, the Count de Breda. Around 1777, he goes on and attempts to live a normal life.
Toussaint becomes well-educated and literate, often studying different languages like Haitian Creole and reading books.
Along with that, he also becomes well-educated in livestock and becomes a vegetarian. Eventually, Toussaint does the unbelievable and owns his own plantation and has his own slaves, which, let me say, is very uncommon for a former slave himself. In 1771, the Haitian Revolution initially begins. Toussaint aligns himself with the Spanish fighting against the French. But eventually, he switches sides once the French get rid of slavery in the colonies, and now he's fighting the Spanish again. And So eventually Toussaint does a bunch of stuff that gives him a bunch of power and he claims himself as the governor. But there's one person who doesn't like this and he's right in front of the screen right now, Napoleon Bonaparte. So Napoleon is gonna go yell at him, be all mad, and then send him away on a ship because he betrayed him. Years later, Toussaint is rotting away in his cell in the Alps and eventually dies from pneumonia. Alone in his cell.
Breaking news! According to valuable sources, prominent historical figures and events have somehow been missing from AP World History.
If you have any valuable information, feel free to contact us at 1012-1492. Again, that's 1012-1492. One of the first prominent figures was Eleanor of Aquitaine. She was a very powerful woman of the Middle Ages and ruled France and England, and she also married Louis VII and Henry II. She was also involved a lot with politics, including herself in a crusade where her sons rebelled against Henry II. Back to you, Jalen.
Eleanor of Aquitaine's involvement in the Second Crusade showed her demonstration and leadership of determination. As Queen Consort of France, she accompanied her husband, King Louis VII, on the arduous journey of the Holy Land. Okay, now I'm going to go and try and find someone to interview. I found someone. Let's go. You! Yeah! You with the Bob Ross shirt! Yeah! Alright, I'm here with...
Oh, Bob.
What do you think of Eleanor of Aquitaine?
So, yeah, she was pretty good during that Second Crusade, but she faced a lot of criticism. She's better than her husband, Henry II, though, and she earned the respect of her troops, so she's pretty all right. What is this?
Alright, back to Hayden.
Thank you, Jalen. Now we're going to move on to our second prominent figure, the King Ezana of Axum. He ruled in the 4th century and was the ruler of the King of Axum, located in present-day Ethiopia. He was known best for converting his whole kingdom to Christianity. There are also significant inscriptions in stones, like the Ezana stones, which mark his military campaign and his shift to Christianity. The King of Axum also became the first bishop of an Ethiopian church, which marked a significant cultural shift.
Now we are going to go interview people about the King of Axum. Look, there's somebody now.
Welcome back. I am here with... How'd you jump over that fence? So what would you say is very important about the King of Axum? Well, his leadership expanded territory and it established Christianity as a state religion, which I think is really important because he was the first one to do it.
That is great information. Back to you, Jalen.
Thank you, Hayden, for that wonderful information. I'm getting a phone call. Bonjour. Ah. Bye. That was someone who has very good information on Toussaint Louverture.
Toussaint Louverture was a pivotal figure in the Haitian Revolution, transforming a slave uprising into a movement that led to the establishment of Haiti as the first black sovereign. Born into slavery in 1743, the France, now Haiti, Louverture gained his freedom and became a landowner. With the outbreak of the Haitian Revolution in 1791, he emerged as a skilled military leader and aligned with Spanish forces, switching to the Republic after it abolished slavery in 1794. He was important because he defeated the French, Spanish, and British forces for control of the colony. By 1801, he had unified the island of Hispaniola under his governance, promulgating a constitution that abolished slavery and appointed a governor-general for life. Thank you.
With Hayden and Jalen again, and we're here with Sandy for the Assyrian genocide. What do you think about the Assyrian genocide, Sandy?
For those of you who don't know what she said that the Assyrian genocide was the mass killing of Assyrian Christians by the Ottoman Empire. This took place during World War I and killed about 300,000 Assyrian Christians.
Anything else you would like to add, Sandy? That's great.
She said that not only did this genocide eliminate the Assyrian population, but it also shattered their political and cultural structures and left a very strong impact on their identity and diaspora. This is a very important genocide to acknowledge in AP World History because it shows a lot about historical injustices.
Thank you for joining us for the What's Missing AP World History project. Shout out to Mr. Reisner.
Now back to John for the weather.
A little windy.